Today we're going to be going over a bunch of tips that will allow you to get better and start to pick up more kills in Warzone 2 while actually breaking down a high kill game at the same time. Now jumping in here immediately with your landing spot, I honestly believe you can land wherever you want to. Al Mazr City, Observatory, Hydroelectric, those are going to be your hot drops with sweatier teams, but I'm seeing a lot of teams drop in this middle area. Said City, Serif Bay, Village, Pass, and then from there they can rotate a little bit more into the action. The one thing I will say is that you should absolutely start your game with a contract. Cash flow in this game is not good. You can't get a ton of cash off the ground. You can't get a ton of cash out of crates. So these contracts will really help with that cash flow early. Two contracts that I would recommend, bounty contract or a safecracker. And whichever one you want to do is totally up to your play style. Bounty contracts, you can be a little bit more aggressive, go for kills early game. Safecrackers are a little bit safer, will allow you to get that cash flow, and then from there you can start to push. The other thing I will say, especially early game, is paying attention to floor loot. You know, floor loot is very important in this game because loadout guns are harder to get. So start to pay attention to what guns you prefer and which ones you feel most comfortable with. Do you prefer an M4 or a TAC 56? Do you prefer a Lockman Sub or an AK-74U? Start to pay attention to what guns you're picking up. This way you know you can feel confident when challenging. Now right here, we're going to go ahead and push this bounty immediately. Neither of us have 3 plate vests, but we're trying to catch them before they get 3 plate vests as well, or before they get comfortable with floor loot. So we're going to go ahead and push this immediately here. My goal is to kill this bounty. I don't want bounty to get poached because then we lose a little bit of cash. So we're going to go ahead and pop UAV. We're going to quietly push in. It's a very strategic push right here. We're not trying to make a ton of noise until right about now when we can go in and catch that guy a little bit off guard. So he has a 3 plate vest right there, which we can then go ahead and pick up. I actually don't know if I picked that up because I challenged this guy right here, and I don't think I ever go back to loot him. That's a mistake on my end. I 100% should have went and grabbed that 3 plate vest. Now, right here, what you're seeing is we have the UAV up, and one of the biggest tips that I can give you is to stop wandering as much. So I'm actually going to mark where these teams are so we can clearly know exactly where we need to rotate to. One of the toughest parts about this game is the lack of information, so we need to limit that wandering as much as possible. That's why I also like bounty contracts, because it gives us a sense of where a team is, and once we kill them, it gives us that cash flow where we can start to get more UAVs. Now, right here, we're going to go ahead and push over. One of the things I want to talk about is kind of playing a little bit quicker. When it comes to movement, we still work on basic movement, strafing while shooting, jumping while shooting, jump peeking corners. But guys, dolphin diving is one of the most important things in this game. Right here, not only does it propel me forward, but it resets that tack sprint. So it propels me forward a little bit. Because I'm changing levels from vertical to horizontal, it makes me a harder target to hit if I'm caught out in the open, and it allows me to reset that tack sprint, allowing me to move a little bit quicker. Now, TCAP gets that kill right there, but we also know there's another team from that UAV, and we catch a little bit of that enemy. Not a whole lot, a little bit of a tough distance to fight out. We're going to go ahead and quickly loot up and now keep pushing because the sniper's backside. Now, one thing I do want to mention is you always need to keep track of as many players as possible. I am going to make a mistake here. I am going to go down. I'm not going to hide it from you, but we're going to talk about exactly why. The reason is because I just get hyper-focused on one single player. You know, I'm going to flash around the corner. I'm going to re-peek right here, and I know this sniper's backside from TCAP's comm. So as I turn this corner, I see this sniper right here, and I just get straight hyper-focused on him. Straight hyper-focused on this kill. Completely forgot about the player that I had seen earlier, and I end up going down right there. That's a little bit of a tough situation. It's just a mistake on my end of not remembering about that, or not... It's not that I didn't remember. I was just too hyper-focused on getting that one kill that I didn't even think about the second guy. Real quick, as we're waiting for Goose right here, if you are looking to get better, guys, make sure you are subscribed down below. I'm over a 3 KD player already in Warzone 2, and my whole goal is just to help you get better. I do videos just about every single day for you. Basically, anything that I can think of to help you improve. Let's go ahead and jump into Goose right here. Really, the thing that I want to highlight, I did a full Gulag strategy video, so I'll leave that for you at the end if you are struggling to Goose. But when you are in Gulag, guys, make sure you're paying attention to these 3 plate vests right here. If you grab this 3 plate vest, which I do after I get this kill, you actually spawn back in with it. So that's one of the biggest tips that I can give you is, you know, these 3 plate vests are a pretty big advantage. It gives you a health advantage over your opponent. So if we can grab that in the Goose, let's go ahead and take advantage of that. This way, as you see down in the bottom left here in a second, we fly right back in. Now, I don't have 3 plates. I just have the ability to put that 3rd plate in. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to fly back in. Little bit slower now. You know, we've got 2 kills. We're going to go ahead and focus on this safecracker once again, just to keep track of cash flow, try to keep that cash flow up. You know, when we talk about UAV versus buying gun strategy, you're going to see that in a little bit here. I always prefer to buy a UAV and then buy a gun. I think the information is way more important. But the other thing that we're doing is we don't really have a buy station close by. So we're trying to get enough cash so that when we do hit a buy station, we can both buy primary guns, we can buy a UAV, and we can also set up our regain before we actually need it. How many times have you been in a game where, you know, you or a teammate dies, or maybe multiple teammates die, and you end up just having to do contracts and get your teammates back, and it takes forever? What we try to do is get ahead of that regain process. So we're going to play a little bit slower here, knowing that once we complete this safecracker, and I'll go ahead and fast forward here, once we complete this safecracker, we're going to be in a really good spot cash flow wise. You know, TCAP's got 18,000 right there. If I can pull this back, okay, see these little flags right here? These flags mark a potential stronghold. Now, it doesn't guarantee that that's the stronghold spot, but what I can tell you is there are 2 crates in there that have a ton of cash. So if you see those flags early game, these little orange flags right here, know that there is going to be a ton of cash in there. You see that right there with TCAP. He's got 18 grand now. I've got 8,000. We're going to get even more cash right here. Now, going back a little bit, what you saw is me grab the cargo truck, guys. When you are landing on these outer areas, and even if you're landing in the hot areas, make sure you have a vehicle. Vehicle is going to be the most important thing when it comes to rotating and start to get more kills, but more importantly, from a safety component, right? We don't want to be wandering out in the open too much to the point where we can get beamed before we even know it. The TTK is already fast enough as it is, so let's avoid that situation as much as possible. So now we're in a very good spot here. I mean, we're in duos, and we've got $42,000. So let's go ahead and rotate up to this buy station right here and try to see what we can find. Now, right there, we hear some shots being fired, and we kind of know that there are people around. Before I even think about engaging, because I know they're down the hill a little bit, I'm going to hit this buy station. Like I said, I always buy UAV first. I think the UAV is way more valuable. I see those guys over that way. They might have been bots because that's a stronghold. And now we're going to go ahead and buy primary guns. The other thing here to notice is that because of our cash flow, like, we have enough to buy both of our guns. Generally, if you're going to buy a gun, most times I was using the Fennec this game and I wanted to grab the Fennec and I knew I could grab my RPK. Most times you're going to want to grab your long range option first, your AR, your LMG, your sniper, simply because the floor loot long range options are not as good as the close range ones like the AK-74U, the BAS-P, the Vaznev, one of those. So grab your long range option first, and now we pop UAV. We got the Hurricane right here. There's guy number 1. There's guy number 2. Really easy positioning right there. Really easy kill because they get caught out in the open, right? Look at the difference here in cover. That's another thing that we need to talk about. Is just always keep track of your cover. Always keep track of where you can go if you need to finesse, and try to avoid being caught out in those moments right there. Even if you've got to push around a little bit further and go a little bit wider, that cover is way more beneficial. So we've got another UAV right here. We can go ahead and loot up real quick. We've got another UAV right there. So now we're in a really good spot here to get our game going. Guys, if you've got a UAV, pop it. That would have really helped them in that scenario. But unfortunately, we're going to go ahead and take both of those. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab our primary gun, which is the RPK. There's a glitch right now, by the way, where if you... I don't know if it's patched or not, but if you spend $4,000, there's a potential for another UAV to unlock. Unfortunately, didn't work right there. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab the RPK. When you do grab your loadout guns, guys, just keep in mind that there is no ammo, so you do have to find ammo. Right there, you see I have no extra rounds in my RPK. So I do need to find a way to get... Yep, there we go. Now we are good to go. Once again, going back to a car. This car, by the way, is not that good. I would recommend as soon as you can get out of it. ATV is really bad because you can get smoked. This car is not very good because it handles really bad. Any of the trucks are really, really good. They're really versatile. You could definitely get around with them. The big cargo truck we were in before does struggle a little bit with navigating turns and stuff, so just keep that in mind. Right here, what do you notice, by the way? But we do have UAVs, and we've got a ton of cash, but our focus is this bounty contract, right? Again, going back to let's keep the cash flow and let's keep the information. That allows us to get more kills. It basically accomplishes everything we needed to. Let's get kills, let's keep cash flow, let's get information. And that really helps us with all of those. And what you're going to see is as we grab the bounty contract, it's going to be right over to our... now behind us. So we're going to use the car to rotate over. Car's a little bit dangerous because of the fact that every team knows you're coming, right? You are announcing that we are here, but there's strategies that we can use, and I'm gonna be doing a full video on how to use vehicles here in a little bit. So again, make sure you are subscribed, but it's about dropping the passenger off at one location and using the car as a distraction and making sure that you're getting out in a good spot. So watch how we're going to play this out right here. TCAP's going to get out right about there, right? So he's got cover right here to his left side that he can shoot on them. I'm going to keep pushing, and I just need to make sure that I get out with cover, right? So I'm just now going to play this little head glitch in this cover right here. And then from there, we know they're on our level. We're able to get this first knock right here with the RPK. We focus on the second enemy. Notice I do a good job this time of not hyper-focusing on the one kill. We tag that guy, and now we can go in and push in, right? We're only playing duos. If this is trios or quads, you got to be a little bit even more careful than I was there. But knowing it's only one person, we're going to go ahead and just push in here. Now, we can't find this guy, and we end up kind of looking around for a while to the point where we do need to pop the UAV. We could have left this guy and just said, you know, we'll leave him be. It might not have been worth the UAV, but we know he's around here somewhere, so it's just a matter of finding the kill, and we're still looking. I'm trying to see where he is. We can't believe he disappeared the way he did. I mean, where do you think he is right now? We go in and equip the UAV. We're checking passengers. We're checking cars. Is he in there? TCAP thought he was in the passenger seat, and he's around here, and there he is. So we finally find him. Now we can go ahead and push over. One quick tip for your SMG guys, and even close range just in general, make sure you're hip firing. Hip fire is just really good. Don't really miss a shot right there. It's just too easy to hit shots with your SMG. I tried to execute him because he was disappearing. So once again, guys, we're going to mark on the minimap where we need to go next. We've got a team over there, and we've got a team up the hill. Now, what we ultimately decide here, and I want you to think about what you would do in this scenario. You've got UAV up. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to push this way. Reason being is there's probably not that many teams over here, whereas on this side of the map, there's probably a lot of teams hydroelectric. There's probably a lot of teams observatory in complex, so we're going to push up the hill instead of taking ourselves too far out of the action. So we're going to go ahead and push up here. We're going to once again grab the car, push all the way around, and now we can kind of get into the action a little bit. TCAP's going to get up the hill. I tried to drive it down, but, you know, yep, that car is just not it. So now we can go ahead and fly, guys. And I'm going to play rooftop right here. Rooftops are going to be super valuable. Only danger of rooftops that you got to be careful of is getting caught too far out in the open, getting blindsided. You've got to be ready to jump down immediately. And I'm just trying to see what I can find. Hear that guy right there. If I get this flash inside, I can go ahead and push that. But because I don't, and because it gets smoked, I'm going to be a little bit more patient here. Patience is crucial in this game. Something that I've been really working on is playing a little bit more patient. If you're a Rebirth or Fortune's Key player, it's not the same pace of play. If you try to play at that pace, you're going to get stuck. And even Caldera players, the pace is very much different. Now, we're going to go ahead, quickly check this for a UAV. Unfortunately, once again, we just can't get a UAV, and we're in a little bit of a tough spot. But notice how much cash we have. And the one thing that I will tell you here is don't feel like you have to spend your money. Once again, let's get ahead of the regame process before it actually happens. If I go down right here, right? I already used Goosh. So if I go down right here, there's no worries with TCAP getting me back. It's very easy for him to get me back. So we're going to go ahead and rotate over here. We're going to grab helicopter. And as we are grabbing heli, we of course got the bots floating around. I'm going to grab TCAP right here. And then we see an ATV rolling up, right? So that's the next piece of information that we can act on. And we're just going to push these guys because the only other option is to fly around and try to find somebody. We might as well act on these teams right here. The helis are very difficult to control. So we're going to do a typical Joe moment right here. You know, I'm a great heli driver, so I just blew myself up. It is what it is. TCAP's going to go ahead. I'm not going to burn my self-revive there. TCAP's going to tap it, and we're going to be back into the action. Playing a little bit of high ground, trying to see what we can find. And once again, you're going to see patience right here. As we... Pause. I want to talk about one thing. I've been doing a lot of commentating here. We've been doing a lot. I only got 6 kills. I'm going to tell you right now, we finished with 19. We finished with a bunch as a squad. Endgame is really where we start to pick up a ton of kills, and positioning really matters. This endgame gets absolutely insane. So if you have made it this far, I promise you, you're in for a good second half of this video. We're going to go in and play positioning right here. And we're going to pick up a bunch right here. There's actually multiple teams. Once again, notice the patience, right? I don't want to give away my location too early. So I'm just going to be a little bit more patient. TCAP sees one down below in that building. He's going to go ahead and get the knock, or he gets the tag, so I'm going to keep the pressure on. Notice the hip fire again, right? I talk about hip firing. I don't even think about ADSing until later on, right? So right there, just an immediate hip fire. That gives me a pretty big advantage, and then we can ADS as we need to. When it comes to FOV, real quick tip. Actually, we'll go back to FOV here in a little bit. You know, we're going to see a guy over to our right side here in a second, and we got to be careful. Guys, these bots are very dangerous. Be very careful and do not underestimate these bots. Like right there, I get tagged a little bit. I'm just going to take out a bunch of them right here because they're just so annoying to deal with. They're just so annoying, and they constantly get in the way. Plus, I can't tell who's real and who's not real. So I'm just going to take out a bunch of them. I hear some shooting over to my right, also shooting at the bots, so we can go ahead and challenge this. There's that guy right there. We're going to hit him with the Fennec, which actually has really good range, and unfortunately, I just can't get that thirst. So we're going to push over this way. Now we're able to get the thirst and the second kill with this RPK right here, which is my favorite gun to use right now. My favorite gun. I'll leave that build down and the Fennec build. I'll leave both of those down in the comments below for you. I'll leave both of those down there. So real quick, guys, when we talk about FOV, I have mine set around 105 to 110. I know a lot of you, especially console players, are just going to want to crank it up to 120, but I don't think that's the best option simply because of the fact that it can be very difficult to see some people. Set your FOV to 105 to 110. See what you're most comfortable with. That's going to give you the advantage in close range because you're still going to have that FOV. It's going to give you the advantage of less visual recoil while also giving you the advantage of being able to see people. Now, right here, you know, when we talk about, we were pushing over to Lodi, but one of the biggest things on the big maps is flying and just seeing what you can find. Now, TCAP's going to go ahead and see that guy right there. So we're going to fly around, and we're actually going to go ahead and go to work right here. This is a little bit of the fun of duos. That guy goes down. Second guy just doesn't even have a chance with this RPK, and now we go ahead and get an easy 2 kills. We are up to 11 right now. TCAP immediately comes one other team on the bridge, so I'm going to go ahead and push up here, play a little bit of cover, and we caught a quick glimpse of him right here. Catch a quick glimpse of movement right at the top, right about there. He's right here. So we're going to go ahead and just pull down a little bit, and then we get smoked from behind, and we go down. Now, don't just give up here, guys. Do whatever you can to stay alive. I want you to know self-revives do not make noise. So I want you to keep that in mind for 2 reasons. One, when you get it down, somebody could self-revive without making noise. The second is that team that's on the bridge doesn't know that I am down here. I didn't think they did. I had no idea, but I'm just going to slow play this. They didn't hear the self-revive happen, so we're going to be able to swim across. Now, when swimming, when you are underwater, you are invincible, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know if you're fully invincible. I think there might be a way to tag you a little bit, but for the most part, like, you cannot take damage underwater for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if the bullets don't make it through the water. I don't know what it is, but you cannot take damage when getting shot underwater. So I'm going to use that to my advantage, swim all the way across here, and now we really start to focus on positioning. What I want to focus on during this next little minute or two is all about our positioning and why it's so important to get ahead of teams and hold them out of circle instead of being the one that is getting held out of circle. And I'm going to get caught a little bit here, but we're going to be able to pick up a bunch of kills in this next minute or so. So I know there's teams rotating from this bridge side, right? There he is. Once again, notice the patience. I can't get the kill just yet. I'm not in a position to be able to get this kill, so I'm going to wait. Now I can go ahead and get it, but as I get that down right there, I'm going to get absolutely smoked from the left side. So we're just going to play the bush. Now, when somebody's camping in a bush, guys, go for the live ping, okay? Try to live ping that person, then you can use that live ping to shoot. I get the down. I just can't get that thirst right there. So once again, we're going to go underwater here, use that to our advantage. Notice that I don't have any plates, so now I'm in a very, very bad spot here. Got to be very smart. TCAP is, of course, to my right. He flew in back on loadout, so I do have his help, and we can finally get to cover. Now, quick reload, and then we're going to start to re-engage here. We see the guy at the top going top bridge. And I don't know where the second guy went. Like, I don't know where the other teams are here, so I've got to be really careful, and I don't have any plates. So we see him flying over to the right side. Now we can go ahead and push back up to TCAP here. We're going to quickly get up top, and now we just start to hold teams out of circle. You know, we know they're floating around here somewhere. We've got 50 meters back. We're able to absolutely tag that guy, but I don't get the down here, so I don't want to push, right? I don't have any plates. We can simply rotate ahead and get to better position than this team, and that allows us to just go open season on them. They have to rotate to us, and they have to rotate to us with very limited cover. So as I'm looting for plates real quick, because that's the most important thing, we still have plenty of time to be able to push up the hill. Now we're going to go ahead and play from right here. We're going to grab that self-revive. Actually, we don't grab self-revive. We see that guy. Yep, tag him just a little bit. Now I'm just going to go ahead and keep rotating here. We're going to keep rotating forward. We still only have... Oh, we grab loadout here. So we end up grabbing loadout. We're going to grab our RPK right there, which I was just testing to see if I could get, like, fully loaded or get extra ammo, which you can't. So just keep that in mind. You unfortunately can't get extra ammo from those. And once again, we're just going to play our positioning here. We're going to keep rotating to where they need to push to and just try to catch them out in the open, which is going to make it really easy for us. We see one rotating right there, just a little bit of movement. Quick tip, by the way, guys, there's not a lot of movement on map. A lot of the movement that you're going to see is, or some of the distracting movement is going to be birds. But for the most part, if you see movement, it's probably a player. If you've ever played Battlefield, like there's no buildings falling in this or anything like that. So if you see movement, it's most likely going to be a player, especially down low on the ground. You're going to see me use that, yeah, like straight ahead, right? So when we look back, we see just a little bit of movement over here. That's clearly a player right there. And we're going to go ahead and wait for him to get a little bit more out in the open. Can't quite get him there. Now we still know there are people rotating in here, right? There's one right there. We get the down. There's one right there. We get the thirst. I mean, they can't do anything. They're completely caught out in the open, and this TTK is just so incredibly fast. There's another one right there. This guy can't do anything. We get the down. We get the thirst right there. There's kill number 12. We still got people rotating over here. As I'm pushing up, I catch 2 enemies, one on each side. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to tag the one to the right side first. There's a kill right there. There's kill number 13. And there's kill number 14 right there. So like I said, guys, simply by putting ourselves in a position to hold people out of circle, we're able to pick up a bunch of kills. Be the person that is holding people out of circle, not the one getting held. And all you have to do is pay attention to where that circle is and make sure that you're rotating early. Now, right here, we're in a little bit of a tough spot simply because I don't have a ton. Neither of us. I know TCAP's down to not a lot. I'm down to very limited ammo. I mean, I've got 46 in. Now I've got 76 rounds total here for a pretty big circle here endgame. So we're going to loot for just a little bit. We're not going to spend too much longer looting, but we need to loot a little bit. Drop ammo right there. By the way, right here, guys, drop ammo is the right stick, not the drop. If you drop, that's going to be your whole gun. If you just drop ammo, that'll just drop one stack right there. So we're going to keep looting up just a little bit to see if we can find an ammo, set ourselves up for a really good position here during endgame. Drop that plate vest. Another tip for you guys, drop stuff in advance. It's going to make looting a lot easier. Notice I have a ton of SMG ammo, but we're going to drop that 3 plate vest just so that we have that open spot. What's going to end up happening, guys, if you don't do that is when you go to pick something up, it's going to tell you to choose what you want to replace. If you have an open spot in your backpack, it's just going to immediately fill that in, making it a whole lot easier for you. So again, just trying to see what we can find. Can we get there we get the medium backpack, so now we can start to stow a little bit more. But once again, got to be a little bit careful. Now, we do have a UAV here. TCAP's going to go ahead and pop that in a second, and then we can really start to focus on this endgame. 14 kills. We've got 13 other people still alive. We're going to tag that guy just a little bit. Probably should not have wasted a ton of that ammo, but we're going to go ahead and just play a little bit of positioning. Once again, paying attention to who is rotating and how can we pick up a lot of free kills based on the fact that there's nothing else they can do. It's simply on us to hit shots. TCAP gets the UAV right there. And by the way, notice our cash flow still. There's no buys in station, or no buys in zone, but it just puts us in a really good spot. So first thing we see, we've obviously got people in buildings in zone. Next, we see people up the hill, and we know that we've got one behind us. So first up, I'm going to focus on this team up the hill real quick. See if we can get a few free kills. That guy's low health. I did get that kill right there. We've got this one over right here. So we tag him a little bit, and notice I push up, but like then I kind of pull back a little bit. Like I don't want to put too much pressure. I want the kill, but I got to play my cover as well, and I can't rotate too far out. Unfortunately, this kill gets stolen from me right here. Can't get that one. Now, let's talk about this endgame, guys. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm at 15 kills, and there were 9 other people. Like, I really wanted the 20 here. So this is why I pushed up the way I did. I wouldn't totally recommend it in this scenario, and I am going to be doing a full video on endgame strategies a little bit later on, probably within the next week or so, but that's why I pushed here. This is not a smart push, but I was really itching for that 20 bomb. We get one right there. When it comes to communication, guys, live pings are really, really crucial. I probably die there without that live ping from TCAP. So make sure as you are with your squad, you are using live pings to your advantage. It's just much clearer than communication, right? Instead of saying one pushing you or one coming in the doorway, let's say, hey, here's the live ping for you. You know exactly where he is. So right here, we're in a really tough spot, guys. We're going back and forth about where to go because, you know, I obviously have 17 here. I need 3 of the last 6 kills to drop 20, and I just need to get over to this building. Dolphin dive, right? So watch, it propels me forward, and it gets me inside. So I didn't dolphin dive there to reset my tac sprint. I just used it to actually get inside this building. Now we're in a little bit of an okay spot. I got to be really careful here. This is a no down scenario. TCAP's going to hold that left side for me, you know, and try to see what he can find. And I'm just playing one more circle, guys. It's okay to play one more circle, knowing that a lot of these teams are not going to peak. I wish I could have gotten this down right here. I wish I could have. I just didn't get off to a good jump with him. Yeah, I see him right in the little window. Now it's going to pull back to us. Yeah, right here is probably not a good challenge by me. Yeah, there's one right there. This is not a good challenge by me simply because I take way too much damage. It takes me out of the fight for a little bit too long. Yeah, that takes me out of the fight until I get fully plated, and it's just going to slow my pace down a little bit. Still 6 people up, though. Now we're going to go ahead and push. Once again, we're going to dolphin dive across. Boom. That allows us to get behind cover and allows us to take out that guy. So that's where we dolphin dive and then switch, right? It's super quick. Dolphin dive, switch. We're able to challenge that guy because I know people are rotating in. Now we go down, but we do have self. We're okay. And we got gas mask. So we have self and gas mask here, which means we're going to be okay to get into circle. I need 2 kills for the 20. We've got 4 enemies still left here. We're going to quick plate. I don't know what this guy's doing over here, but he ends up getting caught behind us. And TCAP goes, hey, there might be one pushing below you. And I'm like, yeah, they might be pushing right below. So we're going to clear this here in a second as soon as we're plated. Nothing there. And we just get caught, guys. This is just a super chaotic. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up right here because I'm getting shot in the back. I know there's one over here down to a 1v2. Unfortunately, can't pick up the 20 bomb. Still chasing it. Dropped 19 a few different times, including this game right here. But I hope you found today's video helpful. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.